a special interview segment for the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com.
Okay, folks, joining us on the show this week, he's going to be appearing at the Ford Arena, Beaumont, WWE Live. Going to be coming Sunday, January 4th, special start time of 5 p.m. 2014 WWE Superstar of the Year, Roman Reigns. Mr. Reigns, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. It's always great to have WWE talent on the show. You've been out for a while due to a recent injury with a hernia. Are you happy to be back in the ring, returning into action?
Man, I'm happy to do a lot of things. You know, that having that hernia surgery and just the first couple of weeks of recovery was it was something I've never experienced before. You know, I've had some injuries in my day, and I've been able to work through the rehab process. But I mean, the requirements for a hernia surgery is sit on the couch and do nothing. Wow. Which, you know, it sounds like what's he complaining about? But like, for the first couple of weeks, for the first week or so, it was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, I did some pretty good couch work. But when you get, to about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, oh man, you start getting so antsy. You just want to get out. I want to get in the gym and I want to work. I want to sweat, and I just couldn't do any of that. So it's nice to be able to move around, run, jump, wrestle, everything. I'm very fortunate.
Absolutely, and very glad you were able to recover, and hopefully we'll be back better than ever with the Royal Rumble, especially right around the corner. Last year, you eliminated 12 competitors, which is a new record. You beat out Kane, but you did come up a little bit short. Do you think this year, 2015, do you think it'll be your year?
I think so. I think everybody's thinking that. I think everybody goes into these type of matches thinking that they're going to be the guy. It can happen. Whether it's 30, 40, 100 people in this thing, everybody should be going into that mindset that I'm the guy tonight. I can change my whole career. I can change my whole life if I just dominate tonight. And that's what I'm going to do. Fortunately for me, I have some experience with this match. I have a record of eliminations. And I'm taking last year, making it all the way to the end and then coming short as a mistake that I can learn from, as good experience. Hopefully I can capitalize on it this year and correct that wrong and go on to the big one.
Absolutely. And during that Royal Rumble, the fans were certainly behind you. And it seems like fans are already starting to compare you as the, air quote, next John Cena, and that they see you that you're going to be like that next big main eventer. How does it feel to get that type of comparison so early in your career?
I don't really feed into that stuff, man. I've never, when I first started wrestling, I got a lot of comparisons to a lot of different people. Riz Ramon, The Rock. I flashed a bunch of different qualities and characteristics, I guess, of former guys. But for me, I'm not trying to be the next anybody. I'm trying to be the very first Roman Reigns, and that's all I can do. I'm not out to be, somebody that I'm not. I know who I am, I know where I come from, and I know where I want to go. So, it's very flattering to be compared to someone that's, worked so hard and been so successful. But, I don't want what he has. I want what I'm going to get.
How has the transition been for you from going to the Shield to singles competition? I know there's a lot of pressure on guys who, they feel like sort of that safety net is removed. So how are you handling it?
I was fine with it, man. I mean, like, people don't realize that, like, I was wrestling singles, towards the end of the Shield run, I main evented, a whole Europe tour fighting Randy Orton while I was still in the Shield. I had multiple matches, without the boys. So it's just one of those things, I'm a sports entertainer. I'm a wrestler. I'm a worker. I can wrestle in a team situation. Before I got in the Shield, I was wrestling singles, so you give me the squared circle and some ropes and somebody to beat up, and I can do it.
Very cool. WWE gets to travel all over the world to perform, especially, you're going to be coming down here to Beaumont at Ford Arena. Is there any country that you have yet to perform at that you would like to? There's quite a few places that I'd like to go. I've been so lucky to go to so many different cool places all over the world, places I never would have thought of, going or even knew about. But I think the one continent that I haven't been to would be South America.
So I would love to get down there and just do a tour and go country to country and tear it up for the South American WWE universe.
When you come down to the ring, you usually walk down through the aisle next to the fans. When you're going through there, it's always luck of the draw on what type of crowd you're going to get. What's the most bizarre thing that might have happened to you while you were coming down the aisle? I mean, obviously you got, fans trying to stop you, take a picture, pat you on the back or anything. Is there anything that's kind of a little bizarre that's happened to you?
There's been a couple of situations, there was one time, a few months ago, this little girl came out and just waist-locked me, just a big bear hug on me, and I didn't even notice until cause she was on me before I even knew. So when I looked down, it was just like this little 7-year-old, 8-year-old little girl. It was cute as can be. Not too long ago, I think last week, I actually saw a few those little short films that they do on the internet. Some girl just filling my arm up and holding my hand, and there's so many people, and I'm trying to take in the crowd and just see what I'm working with the people. That there's sometimes I don't even notice things like that. So it's we have an awesome crowd. They're so feisty and emotional and outspoken, but they've been awesome with me. They haven't done anything too crazy to where we put the entrance in jeopardy.
Very cool. One of your signature moves is the Superman punch, and on the show we like to talk about the differences or the comparisons actually between professional wrestling, sports entertainment, and comic books. Are you yourself a comic book fan, and if so, who are you into?
As a younger kid, I read comic books, and I was really into the Spider-Man versus Venom and the Superman comics and things like that. But I'm not one of those grown men comic book guys like a few people that I know. But I got a kid. I don't do little kid stuff. But I think I'd like to think I emulate a comic book character. I think with the things that I do, my look, my gear, the moveset that I have, kind of emulates that of a bit of a Superman, Spider-Man mix or something like that.
And it's certainly fast-paced and hard-hitting, so anyone who's in the ring better watch out. You're actually going to be going up against Rusev, the current United States champion. How do you feel about going up against him in Beaumont?
Oh, man, I think it's a great opportunity. We're better, to win the USA title right there in Beaumont, Texas. I think, he's been on a bit of a hot streak. I don't even think anyone's beaten him thus far. So to get in the squared circle and pound on that meatball would be a good time. And we got a pretty little lady in Lana to watch the show, so I'll be able to give her a good showing, I would say.
Very cool. You've been in 2 WrestleManias. I was lucky enough to be at WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans and got to see y'all perform. Being a younger wrestling fan and growing up to become a wrestler, just take me through the emotions going through your day of WrestleMania to actually going into the ring, seeing over 78,000 fans there chanting for you and cheering for you.
Yeah, I mean it's unlike anything else in the world. I mean, our first one was in New York, New Jersey, and then last year in down there in the NO, it was awesome. And just the whole build-up of the whole week, we get to do a lot of different things. We go down, to Access and do a lot of meet and greets and signings for the fans and stuff like that. So to be able to interact, hang out, and have a little time not only with the fans but your family, it's almost like a bit of a vacation, up until you get to those couple of days before when it's time to kind of get your game face on and, remember why you're there, to perform on the grandest stage of them all. But for us, it was cool because, you can feel all those people and they're out there. But fortunately for us going through the crowd, we legitimately got to walk through them. It wasn't like being on the ramp and looking out. We were going through the masses, like a mob of people. So, and I've never been involved with something so cool in WrestleMania.
Very nice. And you've had, a lot of great matches so far. My in particular favorite has been the Shield versus Evolution at Extreme Rules. You guys absolutely tore the house down. Is there a favorite match so far for you? And if so, Which one was it? And also, I guess a two-part question: is there a fantasy opponent someone you would like to face later on down the road?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say, as far as my favorite match is it's funny because the first Wyatt match we had on pay-per-view, and I think it was actually it was in Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I still haven't watched that back. Like it's like a weird thing where I want to just leave it to what I remember. I don't want to watch it back. I just want to the vibe and the emotion that we had out there, the response, the manipulation of the crowd, just going in and out of stuff, and all the different chants and things like that. It was an unbelievable match. And then I also got to say, for me personally, I really dig my match I had with Randy Orton at SummerSlam. I thought we did some pretty cool stuff, especially down towards the end of the match. Just incredible exchanges, through signature moves and stuff like that. He had a RKO, caught me out of the Superman punch. Nobody's ever done that. And that just does speak for the type of competitor that guy is. And not only that, I had enough in me to beat a guy like that. So I definitely think that's one of my favorites as well.
Absolutely. Definitely looks good. And like you said, the Shield versus Wyatt feud was just so organic, so unbelievably rich in emotion from the fans, as well as the output that you gentlemen put into the matchup. It makes it look like it makes everything look good for the future as far as in the WWE. A lot of the fans are saying, there's a lot of bright young talent coming up in the ranks. You yourself, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins were sort of like the first three guys pulled up from NXT after it got changed from the developmental FCW. I just want to get your additional your thoughts on if you felt any additional pressure on yourself, Dean and Seth, because y'all were essentially ambassadors for the new NXT.
I think that, I don't know if it was extra pressure or anything like that. I think, for the life we're living, there's always pressure. You know what I mean? That's just, like that. Pressure almost becomes like another emotion. You know what I mean? Like most people are happy, sad, angry. All the different emotions you can feel, but just pressure is just one of them, man. Like that's just if that's how I know I'm alive. If I'm not nervous, if I'm not feeling butterflies, then like what am I doing? So for me, it was a cool responsibility to be given, to take on. But I just think that's just a part of the process, and being the first few to come out of NXT, we felt it, but then everyone behind us, all the way from the Wyatts to Rusev. And the list is just going to continue to go on. You got great talents down there that are going to come up and make a big name for themselves. The Ascension, Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville. And there's even newer guys that, international stars from the indie scene that are down there now. So it's a good time to be a wrestling fan, no doubt.
Definitely. And I know you were sidelined with your injury, and people do always worry about, out of sight, out of mind type of things. But whenever the Slammies rolled around, you were actually the recipient of the Superstar of the Year. What was your reaction when you heard your name being called for the Superstar of the Year?
Man, to be honest, I was shocked. I didn't even look at it like I was going to win because, I was in the Shield for a little bit of the year, you know what I mean? But when I came out of there, I came out with a rocket on me, and I was able to do some cool stuff with the Rumble and Survivor Series. But I'm sitting in the locker room, BSing the whole thing, not even paying attention, just kind of cutting up with some of the guys that I haven't seen just because it's been so long. And next thing I know, at last minute, I got kids running in there telling me, "Hey, we need you up there." The voting is going down right now. So, for me, I had no clue.
Wow.
So it was, what you saw was, on what you saw on, live TV was was pretty much what I was going through at the moment.
Wow, very cool. And we certainly look forward to seeing you at Ford Arena in Beaumont on Sunday, January 4th. Special start time, 5 p.m. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster outlets. You can go see Roman Reigns, Rusev, Kane, so many more. It's a great show. Highly recommend if you haven't gotten a chance to go see it. Roman Reigns, we certainly appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you down here in Beaumont. And you have a good day.
Right on, man. You too. Thanks for having me, buddy.